Hello and welcome to the Kernow Kast. I'm Lewis Pauling and I'm your host. Today on the show I have Brock from the Cornish Partnerships, which is a new networking group that has been set up and something that I am looking to join. This podcast is slightly different to previous shows where I'm not necessarily interviewing someone or having discussions on a particular topic as such. It's more of an introductory meeting into the Cornish Partnerships and whether it be something I would be interested in joining and whether Brock and the partnership would want me to join. So first of all, I want to thank Brock for letting me record this conversation that I had with him. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy it. If you hopefully you'll find out more about Cornish Partnerships, and you should end up finding out more about what the Kernow Kast is all about too. And if you like what you hear and you want to get involved with the Cornish Partnership yourself and contact Brock, you can do so on Twitter at cornish.partnership, and they're also on Facebook at the same name, I believe. So yeah, try that, and I'm sure I'll get back to you and you'll be very, very happy to hear from you all. Another little thing, we have a new feature this week with our theme music being taken over by the Cornish musicians, if you like. It's a new feature where local bands, artists, singer-songwriters, musicians, choirs, anybody that's making music in Cornwall, I would like them to, if they would like to, they can feature their music on the Kernow Kast and become theme music for particular episodes or what have you, totally for free. And this week, the very first one is from a musician called Gerdy Bird, which is spelt Gurdybird, and the name of the track is Night of the Dancing Quacks, which I think's a hilarious name. Good and hilarious at the same time. And I hope you enjoy it. You can find Gerdy Bird on Facebook, and you can also find her at gurdybird.co.uk and gurdybird.bandcamp.com, and also you can find some bits and bobs on YouTube as well. So without any further ado, you'll have my conversation with Brock after Night of the Dancing Quacks by Gerdy Bird. Enjoy. Start, yeah.
There we go, yeah. Get your coffee already. What I always do, what I like to do, because this is really for us to get to know each other more than anything else. Because I'm a firm believer. Well, not just firm believer. It's a proven fact. I can only try to help you if I get to know you better. Of course. And same thing goes both ways. And so that's why this to me is so vital. I don't want to just sign people up. I mean, it's a great tool. It's just another networking partnership tool. But it works best by actually the personal interaction, because if you just put out there, join this network and pay your fees and show up to meetings, it's okay. But by getting to know you and the partners getting to know you better, then that's the best way we can help out. So having said that, first thing I do is talk about how I got here and what's going on. And then the hard part for me is this when I shut up and listen to you, which is the most important part, to be honest with you. Yeah. So me, myself, obviously you can tell, Cornish, born and bred. Yeah. Orlando, Florida, ended up 25 years Navy, met the wife while stationed up in London, Last posting was St. Morgan, so that gets us geographically where we are.
Makes sense, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, we full intention when we came down was to just get on the property ladder and move back towards Kent. Fell in love with Cornwall in less than a year, and just been here 15 years now.
Easily done.
Yeah, quite easily done. The And then when I came out of the Navy, I actually ended up in hospitality, honestly by accident, because a friend through the children called and said, "Can I come talk to a hotel owner?" And it wasn't really an interview or anything; it was just a chat. And end up, next thing I know, 8-9 years of managing various different hotels. Last place I was at Bodmin Jail, and I was there when it first got taken over by the development group and everything. But yeah, I just got to the point where really I'd had enough of just doing that. It's part of it's my fault because and it's not where we are in Cornwall. The bad thing is, of course, you to survive economically, you have to build a team in hospitality, especially in the hotel trade, and then you got to let people go. And I guess I was just getting to the point where it was getting to me a bit. I didn't like, you build a great strong team. You work the young guys and girls, 60 to 80 hours a week during the season, and then come October, November, sorry, you got to go. And then they've, I've taken a new iPhone contract, I've just got a car. They know it's happening in principle, but at that age, you don't think that far.
You don't
you're getting a paycheck this week that says that. You don't think about 4 months down the road. So anyway, that was just where I got to personally. So then I thought, well, I'd give a hand at sales. So knew Shane from Cornwall Channel for years. Everybody that I'm dealing with, I used to be their customer, so that's kind of why, as far as the people that, because you got the partnership, and then you have kind of like an associate partnership that's driving it. That's why it's working so well, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But I went to Shane because I'd known him for years. So let me start selling your product. I was selling that some. Took another product. I ended up about 5 different products I was selling. So to tell that story, because that's how it actually got me to this. Because while I was out and about, I could have been in talking to a pub or restaurant about their merchant card services. I did that for a little while, or advertising or whatever. So if I'm in a pub somewhere and then coffee machine breaks or whatever, or they happen to mention, having an HR problem, whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
I would just say, I know somebody you might want to talk to. It's not magic. It's a lot of us do it all the time. But so I would just was making referrals, and then I might be out on the road and be dealing with somebody that does like a neat craft thing or making some bespoke product or something, and then looking at it up in Launceston or something, and then think, oh, that would be perfect in that hotel I saw down in Falmouth, or that restaurant over in Foy, whatever. Point being is, I would just get those together, and they would of course start trading and everything, and then I started getting lots of comments, feedback from customers saying, well, what you're doing is really good, because I had the salesman hat on. They would look a bit peculiar, are you doing this for a commission? Like, no, just help people out. Yeah. So really, I've started doing this by listening to customers, and my wife would tell you I don't listen the first time. So it's probably about the 20th time that a customer said, why don't you do this? So I started looking at because I'd already gone to networking stuff in principle, because I already believed in networking and how it worked. I started looking at a few other different ones, what they were doing. And then started studying how different ones were doing it, and they were doing completely different products than what I'm trying to do. So what I decided was I just need to just listen to what the customers are telling me and just build it from there. Funny little story, because Cornish Partnership itself, originally I was going to call it Southwest Partnership.
Right.
But then I was trying to get realistic with myself and think, how do I really want to be going all the way to Bristol and everything? So I thought, well, Cornish Partnership, I like it. And as soon as I launched, just social media stuff and everything, started getting just as many or more calls from Plymouth and Exeter than Cornwall. Complete accident, didn't do it on purpose, but when I started asking the people, the inquiries, why Cornish Partnership, they're wanting to get a foothold into Cornwall,
right?
Which is great and fine, and business should travel anywhere it needs to, but you get the old. The reason I originally was thinking Southwest Partnership was, you get the old-fashioned, Tamar divide.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to exclude Plymouth, but then again, by calling it Cornish Partnership, it actually
kind of does.
Kind of brought them in. I mean, in some ways. So it's fine. It's no problem as long as it works for everybody.
Yeah, right.
So I talked about this associate partners, and the reason it's working is because what I started thinking about how to do this and everything, and thought about it for a few months. And then I went back to Shane again, just happened to be him first, and started pitching the idea. He really liked it, and then talked to some more. There's 4 or 5 others that the bottom line is they have networks already, and because they have strong networks, they're helping push it as well. So that's why it's always, so it's not just me going around just doing a one-man band. It's they're pushing it as well, which works out really, really well.
So you've almost got like a few feeder things.
Yeah,
exactly. It's all coming, trying to bring it all together.
And it's none of them are stupid. It works for them as well, because the bigger this grows, the stronger it's going to help them find new people as well. It all works hand in hand. Partnership.
Yeah, makes
sense. A cheesy bit of this, because I'm not really doing this for money by any means. It's the really cheesy bit of it. It's really more of I'm working on a legacy. Yeah, and I hate admitting that bit of it, but you get to a cercertain age, and you're talking about what's important and
what you want to leave behind.
That sort of stuff, and because the dream here is, and it is happening. The dream definitely happening. 200 or 300 partners the first year, and just keep building and building. Willing, able, body, knock on some wood, everything. Do it for 15, 20 years, whatever. And then, of course, like anybody would want to, I'd want to hand it off to one of my children and let them run it. Yeah. They probably won't be interested at all in it, which is fine. But as long as just as long as it can continue, hopefully, and then get the right people or persons in, that's fine. So I never want it to be a business. I just want it to be, I was trying to describe to somebody the other day. I want it to live not in the realms of council or politics, nothing like that, and not in the realms so much of big business group or anything like that. Just don't get me wrong, corporates are welcome. Yeah. But it just needs to live and breathe as a way to bring one man shops up to bigger places together on the same playing platform.
I'm with you.
And to offer each other, service each other. So that's it. Great. That's it in general. So now, like I said, the magic bit is where I shut up and listen to you a bit and get all your information. So I'll start off. First of all, this is just on paper now.
Right. Yeah.
Web page is being built, just with the web designer yesterday, Brian. And once that's all built and done, what I'll do is sit here, obviously, laptop or iPad, and say this Cornish Partnerships. Here's the list of all the services that are available inside the partnership. So look, because the other part of it is, once we're in the partnership, we should look inside the partnership first and see if we can find a partner that will help us and we help each other. By all means, you don't have to stay within, but you'll build your own links and bonds and everything. So eventually, so soon it'll be on the website. You can easily just browse all that and everything. Yeah. Okay. So back to you. Type of business. Describe exactly what you're doing, why you're doing, what you want to do, those sort of things.
Okay, so it's called the Kernow Kast, and it's all about broadcasting Cornwall, and I like to focus on business, culture, and community, which I actually think is kind of all-encompassing in the end anyway, if you kind of think about it. But so we run podcasts, as you can see. Yep. So and I also want to be doing videos as well. Okay. The podcasts are sort of where I kind of just wanted to make a TV channel for Cornwall. That was my original idea back several years ago.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of, I had that idea and I was just like, oh yeah. So I started looking around and I ended up realising, well, actually, I was going to start it, and then I started putting some little bits and bobs in place and didn't really put anything out. But then I found out my partner was pregnant, so that put everything on the back burner. So I was like, I've got to sort that out. So I'd done that, and then once we sort of got settled and got a house and everything, I started trying to think about starting it up again. I was like, I can't afford like cameras and all that. So what can I do to get the ball rolling? And that's not too expensive, and where I can just sort of start something on my own that takes up a little bit of time and maybe a couple of evenings a week and stuff. And the podcast, I listen to podcasts in my work van every day. So the podcast was something I thought of, and I was like, that's cheap. It cost me a laptop. I managed to borrow some microphones and not this one, this is a new Christmas present, but I got some microphones and stuff off some friends that I knew that were running a podcast, and they just stopped it. Okay. So I was just like, can I borrow it for a while? And they were like, yeah. And I got all this equipment. I was like, 300 quid's worth of stuff. So I was like, ideal.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was helpful. Started it sort of going last year.
and it was going okay. I had quite a few people, you know. It's a slow thing. It's because it's such long form stuff. It's not like a quick video and thing where you get like thousands and thousands of hits. I'm literally getting tens and maybe a couple of like 100 people listening, but that's fine because I'm happy with that as long as there's people that are interested. And I've been very focused on bobbing and so, because that's where I grew up and that's where I know a lot of people, and that's kind of where I'm putting my toe in a little bit, and it's just friends and stuff. And this is where now I'm hoping with networking and things like this, that's where I can sort of expand and look into more different avenues. The videos I feel like I need to do as well, because if I want to turn it into a business, a real business, then I need to provide something that's actually bigger than what the podcast could be. I mean, I think the podcast could eventually be quite big, to the point of, I mean, in Cornwall terms, and it will be able to make its own a bit of money, but it's not going to make enough to run a business off. I don't believe at the moment. I mean, it could do if I managed to do 5 shows a week, but it's not going to happen for several years, I don't think.
Gotta have dreams and gotta keep working on them.
That's it. I mean, that's it. But I mean, really, because I've always wanted to run a business, and ever since I was a little kid. I mean, my dad and my uncle started proper Cornish.
Oh yeah.
And so I've always been around that, and I just looked at it and I was like, wow, and they get to work. They kind of get to do what they want when they want. Really, if they need a bit of time off, they can have a bit of time off. And and that's kind of always what I've wanted to be able to do. But also, I also think that I don't want to be going through my life working and not doing something that I enjoy just for the paycheck. I want to be able to do something I enjoy. And I've been always struggling to find something to get into. And I started thinking, I was like, well, what do I care about? And I love listening to stories about businesses. I just love reading books about, how business went from A to B and the troubles they had, and learning through that way. I love listening to those sorts of stories.
You ever read Virgin? I'm trying to think of his name.
Richard Branson.
You ever read Branson's book?
Yeah, I've read one or two.
Yeah, because it's just, I mean, you read that. I mean, he failed and failed and failed and failed, and an average person would have said, enough of this. I'll just go get a job.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a hero in a way like that. So it's that sort of thing. And I was like, also, what else can I? And I was there thinking, just business. I can't just do business because there's so much out there already. I need to be a bit different. And so I was like, well, I care about Cornwall a lot. Like at the minute at work, I had an appraisal yesterday, and they were like, the guy was like, you could go quite far with your company, with my company, because you've got the skill sets to go and do it, and there's lots of opportunities. I'm like, yeah, but if I want to go into those opportunities, I need to move away. Like, there's nothing here in Cornwall for me to progress. So I was like, I don't want to move. I love it here.
Yeah.
It's like, and so I've been thinking, and I care about the community a lot. Like, I feel like these days is where, with sort of social media and stuff and the way that the world is now, there is community, but you don't see it in the street so much.
Okay.
I feel like it's a bit of there's a funny sense around community, especially like in bobbing, where everyone goes on about it on the internet, like this, that, and the other, but then no one actually turns up to anything. So I was kind of like thinking, well, how do I bring, say, town councillors and Cornwall county councillors and stuff to the people? And this is where the podcast makes sense for that, because if I'm talking to councillors, they can't go around and talk to every single person, but if they talk to me and I put that out there, they're basically talking to everyone. Right. So the community, that's where the community side comes in. And I've never like actively looked at the history of Cornwall and the culture of Cornwall as such. I've looked into it a little bit, but I am interested in it, and I feel like the best way for me to learn about it is by getting people on that know about it. I can discuss it with them and tell everybody else at the same time, and that's kind of where the podcast.
Yeah,
that's why I want to do it.
Have you done any podcasts with like the Bards or any of these type people?
Not yet. No,
Cool.
It would be, and I've been on. I've started trying to. What I've been trying to do at the minute on Twitter, especially, is just trying to be engaging with everyone on there, because it's very difficult for me to get out and meet people when I'm working full time as well. Yeah. And and it's a confidence thing as well. And I think by coming to networking things and building my confidence in talking to people, because I was here on at the first meeting the other day. I walked in, I was like, I know Shane. I know he's already talking to someone, and I only know him from meeting him at another one. And luckily, there was an old school teacher here,
cool.
Sean Hooper of the Cornish Cricket Company,
yeah.
And so that was nice. I just had someone really familiar, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I was standing around like.
Did you talk to a lot of people in the day though?
Not really, because not as many. Because when I walked in, I was like a bit like everyone else is sort of already in their little groups and talking, and I was just like standing there in my work clothes as well. I think everyone, I don't know. I kind of thought that might have been a bit of a draw for people, but in the end, I sort of spoke to Sean quite a bit, and he sat next to me when we were going through the presentations and the introductions and stuff. And then after that, I was talking to him for a bit longer, and then I had to go to work. I mean, I would have loved to have stayed for another hour or something. But
the one thing that the feedback. Sorry for interrupting. Sorry. One feedback I got was that two guest speakers carried on too long and people had to leave. So we're going to go to one guest speaker to begin with. I won't talk as much in the beginning anymore because that was it was the first one, so I had to introduce it a bit. So literally it will be. And I'll get into a little bit later. That's not the only thing we're going to do. We'll do a monthly, as I like to call it, quote unquote, atypical network breakfast meeting, which is fine. Nothing in the world against them. They work. But then we're going to do lots of other things. Well, actually, a lot of them might be great for your podcast. So we'll get into that for a minute. So what anything else from it or anything in general?
What from the?
Well, or I feel like I interrupted you. So anything else with the business, what you're trying to do? I mean, the next block on here is future goals as well, which you've kind of talked about a bit. But is there any specific future goals that you want to?
Well, it's similar in a way because obviously, to what you've been saying, it's like it's kind of trying to do something where you can kind of bring Cornwall together in a way. Yeah. That's kind of what I want to really do, and hopefully make some sort of career out of it. Okay. And that's, make that my life, if you like. And because I think I'd really enjoy it, and get around, get to see as much of Cornwall as I can and speak to as many people as I can, because that's what I like. I like speaking to people, and I don't really like working on my own, and I like working with others.
This won't be advice or rocket science information to you, but it's always been said, do what you love for work because you spend more time at work than you do anything else.
Well, that's it. I mean, I've always believed that, and I've worked, since I was about 17, 18, and I've just done work just for the. I mean, I kind of gave up on it at one point. I went to work for Proper Cornish, and thinking, they were like, yeah, you worked because I worked there when I was a kid, like at school holidays and stuff, and then they were like, yeah, you were really good when you was here. We could put you through, like, train you up and all this. So I started, and I put everything into it, thinking, like, I've got lots of people here that if I start going up the ladder here, I'm going to get that just for my name. And I was just like, I need to work harder than everyone else just for that if I want to get anywhere. So I did that, and I worked every hour under the sun. I'd done everything I could. If they asked me to do something, I would go and do it. And I ended up just, getting really frustrated with stuff because I felt like they weren't necessarily doing the things that they needed to do to make things happen. And I just was telling them, this needs to be sorted, and you're not sorting it out. And I was just like, bam, bam, against the wall. And even though you do great things like get your waste from 300 quid a day down to 50 in a couple of months, you do things like that, you don't get sort of necessarily mentioned or whatever. Not slamming Proper Cornish as a whole, but it's just that's what happened.
That was your experience.
Yeah, and you do things like that and you don't really get the credit. And then when you get frustrated with something and you let something happen, I ended up, they didn't fix a problem that happened the week before. So I tried to show them this is what happens when you don't fix your problem. Wasted 300 quid worth of stuff. And basically that's what got me fired. So after a couple of years, so I kind of then, that put me into a bit of a slump, if you like, but I gave up on sort of my dreams, thinking I can get my dreams through this. And then that didn't happen. I was like, actually, no, I went the wrong way. I've got to build something for myself. Okay. And this is where I am now. But, sorry, that's future goals.
Yep.
So I kind of, I did write a little business plan. I don't know if
it's all right.
If that might help.
Okay.
Here we go.
Just going to move that a little bit.
Yeah, sure, yeah, carry on.
There we go.
Cool. This around. So, like, my mission statement is to publicise the positives of Cornwall through broadcasting, to therefore support the growth of the local economy, show all of the Cornish culture, and bring the entirety of the community closer together.
Excellent.
So that's kind of the idea. And then, so my main goals are to produce quality content that is great for the viewers. Hello. And I kind of I need to have advertising because I can't make a business else.
Yeah.
But I want to try and make it so it's not in your face. So if you click on, like, if you click on websites and you get pop-ups, it's the most frustrating thing. So
there's a few. I won't mention names because we're on the podcast. But yeah, you get very frustrated. You go in to try to read something and you give up because it's just in your face.
That's it. And so there's a couple of ways I want to do that, but maybe we can get into that later. But we'll get into that in a minute. But I want to try and produce a podcast every week, and I want to try and produce 12 videos called Towns of Cornwall.
Okay.
Over the next 12 months, and I've been trying to focus down on what I want the videos to be.
Yep.
I don't know if you watched the video I put out about bobbing.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure
and
did.
I've got a kind of partner that's trying to keep him on board quite well because he's quite good at. He done all the filming and the editing for it, and I could do it, but he's just better at it. And I'm like, if I can, it just makes it the quality that much better. So, but I've been trying to focus on what I want it to. What I want the idea of the videos to be. So I've been trying to speak to people about what it would be, and I think if I to make it a business, I think quickly focusing on like sort of tourism and focusing on producing videos that are positive about the town that I'm shooting in, and show off the restaurants, bars, holiday lets, hotels, things to do, all that sort of stuff in a short video. Try and get it all in there as much as possible. I think that's where I can penetrate the market, if you like. And I think the difference with what I would do compared to what I've seen online is that I'd bring some personality to it, whereas I just kind of feel like everyone's just like they'll put out amazing images and videos, like lovely shots and stuff, but there's no real it's just words and stuff on the screen and a bit of music, rather than someone talking you through it and showing you around. And that's where I think I can be different. But
just a little interjection of somebody you might want to talk to when you get a chance. Do you know Graham Smith from Cornwall Reports?
Yeah, well, I don't know him, but I have followed his things a little bit.
I mean, I know him. I mean, if you want an introduction to him, it might be a good. It's not saying that you may or may not have any sort of synergy to work together, but you have because especially the commercial stuff, he doesn't want any of that, pop-up stuff and everything as well. But you might have in his face, he's got years and years of experience in reporting, so I think it'd be a good synergy for at least you guys to meet. Yeah, he might end up doing some stuff together, but have to see.
Well, that's it. I mean, eventually, I don't know what it'd be, but I kind of do want lots of people to be producing for it as well. I think that is because I'm not going to be able to do all of it, to make it where I really want it to go, like the end goal. I think it would need to have more people. Yeah,
it'd be worth a conversation anyway.
Well, yeah, definitely. I should message him. I'll definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
that's kind of
all right.
What I've come up with so far. I mean, there's the rest of the business plan.
Okay,
but
tell you what, email me that and I'll have a good look through it. That'd be great.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
Cool. So email. As I read it, I might think of other possible synergy partners to work as well. All right, then this it looks like a lot. We'll go through this quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Like I said, this will end up being on the web page, so it's listing what the partners that are already inside the partnership offer.
Okay.
At this point.
Oh, I see. So then the idea is then you can go on and look through everyone else's sort of little profile, and then try and message them and
that plus to see what tools and services are out there, and it'll grow and grow and grow. Today's the 31st of January. It's the last day of January. Started on the 1st of January, and there's 42 partners. So it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So. And I apologize, this list, because it's growing so fast, isn't even inclusive because I have to print it every now and then. But that's fine. Web page should be up and running by the middle of February, so it'll be quick, easy click. So inside the partnership now, there's already financial assistance if needed. Those are both traditional and non-traditional. So but like I say, going back to that same thing you're talking about. So you'll if you needed financing for something, you would type in finance, and then of course it'll come up the different partners that do that and the type of service they have, and then you would just click on and contact them. Because the idea, like I said, once again, is that we help each other out, in every way we can. Because then you'd make contact. Oh yeah, Luke, from Cornwall. I was about to say Kernow Videos. Like that's Kernow Kast.
Kernow Kast, yeah.
From the partnership, whatever, and then they should be helping you out as much as they can. Simple as that.
Yeah,
and the same thing for they might need to launch a new product and they want to get you into a cast, that sort of stuff. So there's financial things. There's advertising. Obviously, we already talked about Shane Duff. He's in it. There's several others as well. You saw Big Box here, but there'll be more as well that are coming in. Physical development, that just basically is covering that. There's lots of individual traders. If you ever had. Later down when you're building your studio. Keep them in mind.
That's right.
Communication, telephonics, computers, even telephone answering service. You saw Finetta was here.
Yeah.
They do all that and a few other things. Heating and energy. You saw IU did his talk on it. Yep. And then insurance, Lacora, you saw they did theirs as well. And that's one thing I said to him afterwards. I didn't notice him saying, but they're also there for even personal, not just business, but they do personal insurance stuff as well. So anyway, planning permissions, applications. Not that we're gurus, but know people that can point the right direction.
Right.
Once again, when you're building your studio.
Yeah, that's it.
Accounting, bookkeeping, employment challenges. This, in fact, that's a gift for you on the podcast.
There you go.
Donna, one of the best. Not one of the best employment law specialists in Cornwall. So really, and they're really nice people as well, which makes a difference as well. Merchant card services, as I said, for my sins, I did that for a little while. And what I've done is I've aligned myself with, because what I learned quickly with that, so if you start taking payment online later, I've aligned myself with different salesmen that sell for the different big companies, because there's what I learned real quick when doing it. There's no one that's the right one. Depends on how you're trading, your volume, type of trading, and they all run specials at different times. So when somebody within the network wants to look at that, reevaluate what they're doing, or actually add merchant card services, then nobody likes doing it, but I'll flood them with all the salesmen, and then they can make a decision because, and they're ones I know that I trust that, won't bend them over the barrel, so to speak. EPOS and reservation systems you probably won't need right now. HR payroll, so when you're building your studio and you need, payroll stuff, there you go. Website designers, branding, social media if you decide to outsource that at some time when you're so busy and everything. Construction, studio. The studio is all ready to go, man.
It is there,
Health and safety, risk assessment, guys, all this sort of stuff. And there's more and more and more. The last bit is as simple as this. The partnership, I always forget to say this, but this thing actually says on an interview checklist, right? Because it is an interview. The interview is, are you right to join the partnership? Is the partnership right for you?
Yeah, okay.
Simple as that. So it is actually an interview in its own way, because I only have two guiding principles for this whole thing. Unethical business, won't allow it. Don't want it in. Don't care if they're worth billions and billions. Fine, go away. If someone actually gets in the partnership and there's a flag about unethical trading or even the way they trade with each other, I'll mediate it. If we have to ask them both to leave, that's fine as well. Whatever. But anything like that's going to be like a cancer inside the partnership. Nothing but positive. It's got to be working for everybody. This sort of thing. So that's just the rules.
Makes sense.
Number two is I've already kind of said it. Don't want anybody. For their own sake and our sake, don't want anybody in it if it's not going to work for them. So it's that's simple as that. So listening to what you've said, what I have to answer first is what can the partnership bring for you? The partnership obviously will bring various types of networking, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. It'll raise your profile, no doubt, because more people learning about you. And I think probably just as important is interacting you with people that you normally wouldn't have in business, and you'll get your foothold in different parts of the county and everything else that'll help build it.
Yeah.
And even in some ways, because we're going to be doing master classes about how to do this and how to do that and stuff. Actually, even kind of a mentoring program as well, built with inside of it. So.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of as well. My trouble in a lot of ways, being quite young, I've never really stepped foot, even though I feel like I've learned a lot through reading and listening to my podcasts and just being interested. And I feel, and I've got all these ideas all the time in my head. Sometimes I struggle to sort of focus on which direction to go down, what to do, and that's kind of always a bit of direction is always something I need. And I don't know. I trust myself. I feel like I've got skills and talent in being able to run a business because I'm not particularly good at one particular thing. I feel like I'm quite good at lots of things, but sometimes I just want to help everyone.
Yeah, well, we can't. None of us are professionals at everything.
No,
it's
that's
impossible.
It.
So that's the whole thing. You use different people's strengths to help you out. And as I said, it's all about the partnership itself.
That's right.
So what do you? So like I said, interview. So what do you bring? What are you going to bring to the partnership? What's Luke got to offer? What will we get out of you joining? Lewis, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Do I have Luke down?
No, you got Lewis down.
I've got Lewis. Sorry, that's me. That's
you mean a lot of people at the minute.
Not that anybody's watching this and knows me. I've always been awful at names. awful. Then I got it in the L categories.
You did good, yeah. So I mean, really, I want to hear everybody's story anyway, just through personal interest.
Okay.
And I think by being curious and interested, I think that I can draw out a really interesting conversation and a great story for the people's businesses to put out and share with everyone else.
Okay.
And obviously the podcasts themselves, to be a guest is free anyway. And then I've got a few little advertising products and stuff, and I've got a service as well where, well, we'll have a service once I get a customer for it, but taking the podcast, because it's long, making it small, so it's like it's trying to take the whole gist of the story and what we've been discussing into like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes,
right, and
shortening it down. Obviously that takes quite a lot of time, and that's a product I offer. So I mean, I think that's what I can offer. Okay. And I feel like by building a strong brand of the Kernow Kast and sort of trying to push what I'm all about, the business culture and community side of things, and trying to build something that the public and businesses can all relate to, and then hopefully by building that strong brand in time, it will get out to lots of people, and I just want to share everyone's story really.
Okay, cool. I sat here just yesterday with a guy that does local radio as well.
Yeah.
And that's even a possible partner synergy, because maybe snippets of your podcast could go on his radio, and of course you would be making people aware of his radio as well. So both ways. So there's loads, absolutely loads. Well, I know you've got to get to work today.
Yeah.
Which we'll work on changing that in the future. But so I could spend hours actually talking to you about the different things. One of the things as well is you'll get later today or tomorrow is an email. It'll all eventually be online later, but you'll get an email which is going to it'll have the invoice, which we'll talk about in just a second. It'll also have the guarantee refund letter, which we'll talk about as well, and then it'll have how you list yourself on the website. Right. And the reason I mention that is because on the website itself, looking for a hook, gain attention sort of thing. So as the listings go on, it's whatever you want to offer. Okay, so it might be initial podcast. It might be 10% off my advertising space. You can change it periodically. That's not a problem because it's just listing on a web page. But keep in mind that offer is for everybody. So not just the partners, but I'll also be, screaming that web page out to everybody inside and outside the partnership.
Right.
Because the whole deal is to drive business towards you and awareness towards you anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So we don't want to be like a little secret club that just sits over here. Two things. One, to get more people to join. The other thing is, drive people. There's lots of people that don't need to be in the partnership, which is fine.
Yeah.
Local corner sweet shop.
Yeah.
But he might be doing some fantastic, charity thing because he's got a personal family thing and he wants your podcast. So, it's a good example where it needs to, go across the board. So what we've talked about, and this you take with you. Once again, this will be on the website. very agricultural. It's Cornwall. That's okay. We're being very agricultural today.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Perfect.
So as we talked about, so what is Cornish Partnerships? So networking. The thing with networking, I touch base on it. It's the network meetings in the morning, that sort of stuff. That's fine. We'll do those once a month, right here at since we're on podcast, beautiful Victoria Inn at Roach.
Yeah, that's right.
Where they treat us right. I mean, you can't beat what they're doing for us. I mean, the people show up. Tea and coffee is provided. If they want to buy breakfast, they buy breakfast. Other than that, it's free. So I mean, you can't ask for better than that. Anyway, enough commercial there. But the networking itself. So the meeting is fine, but the things that we're going to do is do traditional and non-traditional networking. So we might had a nice lady the other day who makes cakes. So she wants to have the ladies around and do a ladies networking on making this cake, which is great. I did call her up on that. I thought it was a bit sexist because I tasted her cake and it's fantastic. So, but anyway, it could be pub crawl networking. It can be golfing networking. It can be let's go bowling. Working right now with somebody that's wants to possibly. They were already working on trying to see about children going to do a beach cleanup. So I thought, well, that's great. Yeah. We'll get our children involved as well with those in the partnership that have children. And make it a beach clean network, whatever, anything and everything. And then the other thing you kind of touched on is don't want to just be here. These guys once again at Victoria and Roach doing great for us, but we don't want to just be in one location. We will continue to use them. We appreciate all they've done, but have meetings, Listgard, Saltash, Penzance, wherever. Move the network around, and also keeping in mind, can't expect you to want to run the Listgard or Saltash or Penzance whenever they're happening. But there's people there that will join that will eventually maybe come to this one and that one.
Yeah, and even if you can just go to one in the year, then you might meet 2 or 3 people that. So it all mingles out, and we'll have big events and small events and all those sort of things, and people will be welcome to all of them. Business profile is what you and I have been working on here already, so get to know about you and understand you to help you, which leads into the personal referrals. I'm seeing, as we said early on, I'm seeing 3, 4, sometimes 5 people a day. So me, when I leave and talk to each person, once I know you, well, I did it like with the radio guy or with Graham Smith. Or, these. So as I run into people that I know other facets can help them, then it's leaving me with the idea of contacting those people. And then later on, I'll think of others and, try to contact you guys together, which is great. That's just me, which is no big deal, really. But the more the partners get to know you, the more they'll spread your word and you'll spread their word. And that's why I think this non-traditional networking is so important. We go to the meeting. Well, you were here. As you already said, you talked to a few people, which is fine. But you go spend the day on the golf course, so you get to know them or litter picking or whatever we're doing. You get to know them, you get to find out about their kids or where they're from or whatever, and then you've built that bond and that trust that you're gonna really help each other out even more. Hey, you made a new friend. Yeah, well that's it.
Yeah, that's the other big thing. Cost right there. So the membership currently is £200 for the year. Yeah. More important to me than anything is highlighted right there, guarantee and underline guaranteed and highlighted 100% refund, because it's as simple as this. I can't expect this to work for every single person, okay? But what I don't want, once again, is any negativity. So if you joined and, at the end of the year, I go back to you and say, Lewis, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. At the end of the year, if I contact Lewis and go, Lewis, I hope you had a good year and everything, you want to join up again. If Lewis says, look, I liked you. It's fine. I went to a few things. But I didn't get anything out of it. It just didn't work for me. Fair enough. Have your money back, because I don't want you then later. Not for me personally, for the partnership. I don't want you later on to be somebody brings up Cornish Partnership. Oh, yeah, the guy was nice enough, or he was a jerk anyway. Whatever. Gave him money and nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather give that back and keep the synergy, because that's what's important. Keep the synergy positive the whole way through. And likewise, like I said about the cake lady, or the lady you saw that did the paintings.
Yeah.
So she's never done networking before, so she's a good example. So I saw her, she liked me, great, fine. I went to her house, saw her lovely paintings and everything. That's Shella Pierce, by the way. You can find her artwork online. Anyway, Sheila Pierce. See, there we go again. Sheila Pierce. Sheila, she's a good example. She's never done networking, never understood anything about it, but she liked the vision of it. And if she liked me and joined, but then never went to anything, there's very little chance this would ever work for her. Yeah, people might see her on our web page, and she might sell a few paintings by almost accident. But by getting out and engaging, then she's, in fact, out of that one, she's got one guy that's going to be putting artwork up in his office already for sale, which he has loads of I think a couple of them actually. And then another guy that's actually physically looked online. He's already contacted about buying some more painting. So, but if she'd have stayed at home, she'd never met him, and it's all really cool. So, but that's how it works, and that's how it can work. But that's also how it won't work if she never comes to our house. And that's why I want the guarantee in there, to make sure it's fine. Because you know what, it's not for everybody. I'd be a fool to sit here and say this will work 100% for everybody. Yeah, that's crazy. No way in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Tools we'll use, web page. Brian won't want me to hear this say this, but big deal. It's a web page. There's billions of web pages, but it's got to live somewhere. So the important thing with it living somewhere is we can all see who's in it. And the second thing is to use that tool to broadcast it out wide and far and everything else. Social media, obviously, already happening. We'll do more and everything. Start getting into blogs and stuff like this, network meetings and workshops. Master classes, we touch on that just a bit. The next meetings, I'll email you this anyway. The 15th of February is the next regular meeting in the morning here, like we had last time. Then the 20th of February, there's going to be a master class during the day from 1 to 4 on lead generation via social media, which is a hot topic right now because with all the change of emails and everything, people got to find new ways to find business. And then starting at 6 o'clock, all those are here, by the way. At 6 o'clock that day is the first 6 o'clock club. Now, that's Mike Turner. His business is called 10 Digital. Mike is a huge driving force. I haven't even talked to him about it yet. But Mike is a Penzance boy originally. Lives Saltash now. His business is in Plymouth. But the point being is, the 6 o'clock club, he made massive in London. It's huge in Plymouth. Went on the 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago to, or was it a week ago? I lose track of time.
Yeah.
Went not too long ago to his event in Plymouth, 180 people.
Wow.
Simple as that. So and that's the 6 o'clock club. It's a branded, known networking tool. When Mike found out I was doing this, he'd already kind of made New Year's resolution he wanted to bring 6 o'clock club to Cornwall. So basically, we're doing it together. So I'm here. He'll just He'll loan us the brand, so to speak, and then we'll start 6 o'clock club here. When we went to that one, in fact, we got another one on the 15th, just before ours here. We're letting the Plymouth and extra businesses know that we're at 6 o'clock clubs in Cornwall, so that a lot of them are already interested in coming down as well. So that's great. So that'll all work that way. And then that's pretty much it. And this is the infancy, 1 month old to a day. So things are just going to grow, evolve, and change. Just like you're talking about your podcast stuff. You've got a vision and idea what you're doing now, but it'll change. And the main thing, way I want it to change is by what everyone wants to do. I'm not here to be some sort of dictator, ruler, or rule maker of the group. Whatever the group wants to do. Obviously, I'm facilitating and putting ideas in now.
Yeah,
but
you need to generate.
But 90% of the stuff I'm talking about is it goes right back to being in that shop. And the customer telling me, why don't you do this? And that's what I want from the partners. Tell me and the group, what do you want to do? Let's do that. Let's do that. And some will be great. Some will flop. But don't know, teacher eye.
That's business at the end of the day, I think, isn't it?
Yes. Go back to the Branson book. He'll tell you.
That's right.
You got it. To fail is to learn, To succeed is, you luckily got it right.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just need to get the one thing right, and it can change things. Yeah. But no, I think it sounds. I think the whole idea of what we're trying to do here is.
It's the thing that kills me is it's so simple too. It's simplistic. It's so simplistic. That's what kind of makes it hard to explain because it's too simple.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like I feel like that sometimes. I don't know if it's. To me, what I'm doing sounds simple, but I think maybe it's also I've not spoken about it enough to other people. Like I tend to be just saying it to myself in my head. So I think when I'm trying to explain, that's why I've started writing business plans and stuff just to try to
formulate.
Yeah, that's it. But like I said, it's still quite young for me. It's
a great product. I think you've got nowhere to go but up, obviously, and I mean, it's not once again not rocket science. I use that word too much, but look at all the YouTube stuff and all that. I mean, it's the hot thing. I mean,
that's it.
Videos and podcasts are it.
Well, that's it. I think as well, like with the podcast, even though, like I said, it's not necessarily going to make or break. Well, I suppose it could, but it's not going to be a business in itself. I've got to provide other things as well. But there's no real podcasts out there for Cornwall, really. There's a couple of little things. I know, obviously, we've got radios, but there's nothing. The problem with that is you've got to listen to when you've got to tune in at the right time to listen to it. Whereas
I think one thing personally be cool on your podcast is during the especially during the tourist season. We always have tourists all year round, but because Cornwall is a beautiful place to visit at all times. Anyway,
yes.
Cornwall is the product, though.
That's right.
It is the product. I've worked at like I said, many hotels and different things and everything, and they try to dream up all these. Let's do this, especially like a small independent hotel. Let's do this, and we'll get all the masses coming. Well, Cornwall's the product, so start with why they're coming, and then once they're here or once they're planning to come here, you've got to have the right fit. But you can't expect. Let's pick on somebody from it. Well, we won't say a name, but let's just say an unbranded amusement park, wants to have the biggest, fantastic, whatever party day, charity event, whatever they want to call it. They can't expect people in London or Birmingham or even Exeter that much to wake up in the morning and read about it or see it and go, oh, I think I'll travel all the way to Cornwall for that event that day. It's capturing the right audience at that time of year of what's going on. So
that's right.
Anyway, but it'd be interesting. I'd love to hear what I went on. Sorry for going off on that tangent, but I'd love podcasts about what visitors, both new visitors to Cornwall and ones that come back every single year now. That'd be a really cool one.
That would be.
Yeah, just to really, what, because we live here, just like people live all over the place, and we will always be our own worst enemy.
Yeah, because
we forget what's great about where we are in some respect. I mean, I think most of us appreciate in general, but we don't really take it in.
Yeah, I think as well. Like even a lot of people always say, lived in Cornwall, I've never been to Kernow Cove or in certain different places.
Yeah.
And they're like, but it's like right on my doorstep, and you think you can just go down there on a weekend.
Yeah.
National Trust, I suppose, but it's just things like that. But
it's light till 10:00 in the summer. You can go down after work.
Lovely down. Yeah, good. Podcast. That's a great idea. You write that down. So it's podcast.
Yeah, just it'd be interesting to get because let's face it. I mean, obviously agriculture is our biggest money maker, but tourism is right up there.
Yeah. And
it's so important for us to better understand. Why are they coming? And even if you get some negatives, that's great too, because I'm never coming back because. Well, that's great. If we can fix it, let's fix it.
Yeah.
If it's because it rains too much, we can't do much about that. But
that's it. I mean, it's good. It'd be great information for the tourist community.
Yeah.
Like they just they get it's. I mean, you get surveys and stuff, but
visit Cornwall. In the TICs and everything. They may, not trying to put it out there, but they may even sponsor you some research on that, or even want to sponsor it. Period, because that'd be great for their web pages. Real good quality, honest.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, obviously they're going to want the positive primarily, which is fine. That'd be good. Cool.
Definitely. I don't know. It's been interesting. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Glad we actually got together this time.
Yeah.
I'm not in Lou and you're not in Victoria. That's
right. That's all right.
I had the funniest one was I was meeting somebody here, this Victorian, and I've known him for a while, and I like he's never late, and it's got about 10 minutes after the hour, so I called him up and said, you okay? Where you at? He goes, well, I've been here 20 minutes. Where are you? He was at Victorian down at 3 Milestone.
Oh, no way!
And I was sat here. Yeah, which is the same owners. They own both of them. They do a great job, both of them. But yeah, it was kind of funny. So we met in the middle. We met in Nuki.
Oh, that's right.
Which selfishly was my next point was in Nuki. So
that's right.
But the other thing with your podcast, be interesting is, you say about because you're a Bodmin boy, which is great, and there's loads of changes going on in Bodmin. What about a lot of, if you get podcasts in the really lesser known, places as well, it might be interesting as well, because even us as you already said, us in Cornwall, we don't get out to some of these magical places that are set right there.
That's right.
I was probably here 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, and probably done everything on the North Coast. Yeah. It wasn't until I started working in a hotel down in Gornhaven that I really started appreciating all the lovely places on the South Coast. It's only down the road.
That's it. That's right. I mean, that's sort of something it's another sort of thing I've been trying to do on my Instagram page. I'm trying to think of what kind of push through certain channels, and I've just been. So I went down. I work around Kernow and all that, the castle. Yeah. And I was like, there's all these nice little places dotted around Portlow and Gornhaven, all the places like that, and even further down. I was like, people don't know about them necessarily. I didn't know about Kernow Castle until I had to deliver there for work, and so I just took a few pictures of the sign, Kerry's sign, and then just like the castle and the beach, and people that probably didn't know it existed, they might have seen it, and maybe I'll go down there and visit it. And I think there's nothing. It's just, I can do that while I'm driving around.
I personally think that the Visit Cornwall itself and a few others would do fantastic to have a little snippet podcast that help people see the real true Cornwall. Call it what you want. On the road in Cornwall. I don't know, whatever.
Well, there's all these. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. I mean, there's stuff out there already doing similar sort of stuff, and hopefully, I just think that a lot of them have done it. So, a lot of them have done it, and not necessarily managed to make something from it. Because you could literally go on forever. You could go on if you had a video a week, a podcast a week of Cornwall. You'd go on for 3 or 4 years, just finding lots of different little places. It's just that's kind of what I want to do. So. But
cool. Well, thank you for your time. I know you got to get off to work, but
that's all right. Thank you.
The most important thing is you're doing what you want to do, what you're passionate about. Let's see, you got a Manchester folder there as well. I mean, other than your Manchester stuff, your Manchester United stuff, I love everything you're doing.
Thank you. No I'd like to have my own Kernow Kast one.
There you go. See that I'd appreciate that a lot more.
But trying to save money.
That's all right. No, that's cool.
But no. Thank you and let me record it and everything. No, and I think what you're trying to do as well is going to be really beneficial to everyone.
We'll just do it together.
That's right.
Have fun at the same time. That's the main thing.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
No problem.
So there we have it. Hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, you can find Brock at Cornish Partnership on Twitter, and he's also on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. As for